Okay, let's break down child's pose this time because it's one of the most used, most popular asana in a yoga class, and sometimes I don't have enough time to explain it to you. That's why we're going to break it down. Okay, how does it go? Usually, it happens at the start of the practice or as a transition pose to other poses. Like for example, we're in tabletop and we want to go all the way to down dog, or from down dog, we're going to do this, etc. Or sometimes the teacher would just tell you, or I would just tell you, you can rest anytime in child's pose. I'm like, alright. So let's break down this resting pose. As I mentioned a while ago, sometimes you come out of it, most times actually, you come to it from tabletop. We just bring our big toes together and allow our ankles to splay out and bring our bum to sit on the ankles and just fold forward. Our hands can stay here or alongside our body and rest our forehead on the mat. Sometimes the goal is to rest. If it's too far because you don't have the flexibility for it, you can get a block or a towel or anything that you can rest your forehead on. Just so you'd feel the lengthening of your spine. Lengthening of your spine from your tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. Okay, so putting the legs together is one option. Another option, which I find a lot of people find more accessible, is bringing their knees wide apart. That way, there's more space for their torso to rest and fold forward too. And this usually involves already, for other people, for some people, a big stretch on their inner thigh spine. Okay, so, oh by the way, there's different ways to allow the torso to go toward the mat. Others like to round their spine. They like to feel their vertebra, the spinal vertebra opening up. Like creating space in them. Others would like to approach the mat with a straight spine so they can stretch their lower back as they slowly move toward the mat. And they can bring their hands forward. This is a resting pose, so you don't need to be reaching forward unless your teacher says it's an active pose, so you need to lift your forearms off the floor. You don't need to reach anywhere, go anywhere. Yoga is a time to be present, to be here. So rest your forearm, rest your forehead, rest everything. Actually, this is also a resting pose. When I ask you to lie down on your back and hug your knees in, if you notice, it's the same shape as child's pose. If I ask you to bring your forehead next to your knees, it's the same shape. But there's an effort. In child's pose, there's no effort because gravity is pulling you to the ground. One more thing that I like about Balasana is that because I'm in essentially a closed position, like my head is on the floor, my forehead is on the floor, my eyes are usually closed, and I can just focus on my breath. I can notice the length of my inhales and the length of my exhales. I can focus on visualizing my body, allowing the life force, as I
I usually call air that we breathe in to penetrate our bodies and put spaces, bring it to areas in our body which are tight. Since my eyes are closed, I'm just here resting on the mat. That visualization is just so real. And usually when child's pose is happening during an active practice where your heart is racing and all the more you want to calm down, the breath is really very powerful at the time. In fact, even when if I'm not coming from an active practice and I'm just on the bed and I do child's pose, because it's a forward fold. There are some forward folds, like for example in a vinyasa practice where I'm standing up and I'm asked to fold forward at the time and I couldn't reach, I was trying to reach my toes and it was difficult. Or when I'm seated and we're asked to fold forward, because hamstrings are tight, it's also very difficult. In child's pose, this is a forward fold that's very, very accessible. And it just allows you to quiet your mind because you're listening to your breath. It's a resting pose, but it's a very calming, soothing, and gives you time. It gives you me time, basically. So enjoy it.